I recently attended the National Association of Realtors Sustainability Summit. It was a great conference that provided a lot of insight on current trends in the sustainability space. I say the sustainability space, but the reality is that it's no longer a fringe part of the economy. We're seeing mass adoption of technologies that reduce our carbon footprint and provide cost savings for consumers. The conference was kicked off by Jennifer Wilhab, who is NAR's Vice President of Association Affairs. She did a great job as the MC for the entire event. And she was joined by Chairman of the Sustainability Advisory Group, Rod Helm, who's also done a great job in his role as chair of this group over the last year. And I was honored to have an opportunity to serve as chair of this group back in 2021. And Rod did a great job setting the stage for what the group has been working on, which is the implementation of NAR's 10-year sustainability plan. Rod was followed by NAR President Tracy Casper, who shared some remarks that highlighted her commitment to sustainability. In fact, one of Tracy's 6 pillars for 2024 is sustainability. NAR economist Dr. Jessica Lautz highlighted some stats with the group. I love hearing from Dr. Lautz. She's got amazing insight on our economy, and a few of the things that she shared I thought were interesting. She talked about that although 7 out of 10 buyers reference the importance of heating and cooling, windows and doors, insulation, lighting, and appliances, however, the average age of homes purchased is 36 years old. So there's a little bit of a disconnect there in terms of what buyers say they want and what they're actually buying. But what we realize is that the reality is that consumers have to take what the market gives them, and these are homes that kind of have that average age. So we really need to work to increase production and create more inventory in this sort of really tight real estate market. And speaking of 36 years old, that also happens to be the median age of a first-time home buyer today. And this number has been creeping up over the years. And in fact, the median age for a repeat buyer is 59 years old. Did you know that 70% of all households have a pet, whereas just 31% have children under the age of 18 living at home? Those are some pretty interesting stats that I thought were helpful in terms of navigating this real estate market as I help my clients achieve their real estate goals. And sharpening the sustainability tool is a great way for us to add to our value proposition. Just 34% of agents feel comfortable answering questions about home performance from our clients, whereas 37% are comfortable connecting clients with green lending products. And that's interesting because I thought that we would know more about those things, but I mean, maybe it's just because I know a lot about those things, but I work in that space. So anyway, today, 50% of all households consist of married couples in comparison to 1985 when the number was 75%. That's pretty significant. And single-person households today represent nearly 30% of all households in the United States. And the question that I always ask is, are we building housing to meet the needs of the single-person household? And the answer to that question is no, we're not. I mean, we build apartments, sure, but single-family homes that sort of align with what the needs of a single-person household aren't really in the cards for most builders in today's economy, unfortunately. After Dr. Lautz spoke, we heard from an insurance guy who discussed the increasing number of perils in our country that has risen over $1 billion in losses, and this is per peril. So since 1980, there have been 341 climate disasters that have reached that number. They've reached $1 billion in losses per peril, and that's an average of about 8 of them per year since 1980. However, in the last 5 years, we've seen an average of just under 18 perils per year, with 2022 alone coming in at 18. So as you can see, we are way up there in terms of the amount of losses that are occurring that are over $1 billion in our economy. So we really have to work to figure out how we can mitigate some of these climate disasters and be more adaptable in terms of reducing the amount of loss that occurs when we do have a natural event. The news didn't get better because we next heard from my friend Lori Benner from the National Fair Housing Alliance. She discussed environmental justice, and the question that many people have is, what is environmental justice? Well, it's a social justice movement that seeks to dismantle the flawed environmental policies that have long harmed low-income communities as well as communities of color. And the goal is to pursue policy and development that work to create a sustainable, cooperative, and equitable future for the environment. Lori discussed some of the heartbreaking disparities that exist in low-income communities as a result of these flawed environmental policies. So the conference later turned to a discussion about how to finance high-performing homes. There was a discussion about innovations in sustainable construction and the power of collaboration and policy alignment in driving sustainable real estate innovation. And after the conference wrapped up for the day, we had a magical reception in the Umlauf Sculpture Garden over in downtown Austin, or just outside downtown Austin. And we were in Texas, by the way. The next day, we heard from Andrew Winston, global thought leader and best-selling author of the book Net Positive. And the book discusses how companies can do well by doing good sustainably. It's incredible. His speech was incredible. I've not read the book yet. I have the book. I will read it and I'll report back to you on it. But it was incredible to hear from him and hear his insights about, what companies are doing and what companies can be doing to create more sustainable outcomes for our communities. We also discussed how to account for energy efficient features in the MLS and in the appraisal process. Now, there was so much more. I'll tell you, the conference was just a couple of days, and this was the first year that it was an open conference for real estate professionals because it's been closed in the last couple of years. This is just the third year of the conference. And we had over 150 people in attendance there discussing some of these issues and opportunities. We discussed how to account for energy efficient features in the MLS and in the appraisal process as well. That's obviously a huge deal. And there was so much more to this conference. But, I'll wrap up for today, but let me know if you've got any questions about this or about anything real estate related or anything at all. Because as you know, I'm always happy to help. This is what I do here in St. Louis, helping people achieve their real estate goals. So have a great day, and I'll see you soon.